Well, thank you, thank you. And I didn't anticipate that I was going to be reading so many books or poems today, and I didn't realize that when I just did the few on the moon that I'm going to have to keep it on an astronomy theme for all of these for you. So I've got 3 astronomy poems from the new book. Yeah, I might as well inundate you like you wouldn't believe with every event of the year, Volume 2, July to December. This first one I'm going to share with you was written on July 8th, which marked the anniversary of the day within the last decade of the launch of the last space shuttle mission. So this is about the last space shuttle mission for NASA. This is called Earthly Gravitational Bond to the Moon. This journey carries a certain gravity, heavier than the pull of this planet, seemingly as heavy as the burden that President Reagan felt after the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster. This journey will not mark the end of our lives, but it will mark the end of the era of the Space Shuttle, of our opportunity to make the choice to come closer and commune with our moon. In our turbulent and glorious 30-year history, this final voyage is not only the end of the Space Shuttle era, but it will also end my private love affair with seeing the moon from this most unique perspective. Now, people say the Earth is humbling to view from the Space Shuttle, but I believe that the moon, that beautifully elusive orbiting chunk of rock that used to be a part of Earth, the moon takes on a different realm altogether when seen without our trusted atmosphere there to distort our view of what we are truly meant to see. Because sure, on Earth we fall in love with the moon and moonlight, but when you're in space, between the Earth and moon, your love for this closest solar system relative draws you closer than any earthly gravitational bond. And I also have, because when I can get away with Instagram images and the like, so this has been on Instagram and Tumblr and Twitter and blah blah blah. This is actually the poem with a photo that was taken from the last flight on a space shuttle of the moon with the Earth. I said, that seems like the coolest thing to have with it. You know, why not? For just a weird slice of history, and because it's government stuff, I can use it for my own stuff, right? Anyway, that was the first poem that I'd like to share with you, and the next 2, which are astronomy related from this book. This next one is related to the 16th. Now I have to remember the date, but it's during this month when Mariner 4 had a flyby of Mars. And it was the first close-up photographs of another planet. And that was done this month as well. And it was Mars. And this poem is called Unraveling 2 More Moons. We look up to the stars and we reach out in any way we can imagine so we can learn everything there is out there. If the best way to do that is to send an unmanned spaceship to the nearest planet and do a flyby and snap a few photos, then, well, that's what we'll do. So we'll ship our ship to our nearest sibling. We'll finally see a red planet, Mars, and what a view it was. It was our first chance to learn about an entirely new world, not so far away from our little corner of this galactic universe. This journey, these photos, whet our appetite and gave us a glimpse to what more we could learn. And this ship, in future study, brought into our focus 2 more moons to unravel, discovering Phobos and Deimos, 2 tiny orbs with the opposite fate of our own moon. Now, these 2 moons are asteroid-sized and spin so close to Mars that we could barely even see them. In mythology, Phobos is one of the twin sons of the god of war, Ares, Mars in Roman. And of these brothers, Phobos means fear, Deimos, flight. And unlike our moon, these moons do not fear their planet, as our moon's orbit pulls the moon away from Earth every orbit. These Mars asteroid moons actually pull closer to Mars, so their fate will eventually be an epic collision with Mars. So their fate will, with Mars, and the planet that actually once pulled them in and tucked them into their orbit in the first place. So as much as we like learning about everything from asteroids to moons, it's sad to know that after we learn of these beautiful little gems, we know they'll eventually be gone. So the only choice we have is to continue to look and continue to learn everything we can about these two precious Mars moons before they're gone, while we still have the time and we have the opportunity to fall in love again. First poem. I know. That was actually the second one, sorry. My last one for you is a different set of moons and planets, and this one was for 1994. Because it was, I believe, on the 16th, maybe? Yeah, the 16th, where comet Shoemaker-Levy 9 actually disintegrated into like 20-some pieces and collided into Jupiter. And they have a whole filming of this, and they didn't know what it would do astronomy-wise, so this is about that, and it is called Zeus. Yeah, Zeus and Jupiter's Children. When we on Earth wonder why we need gas giant planets like Jupiter and its 79 moons orbiting so far away from us, we hear stories that these giants stopped mass interstellar objects from crashing into us in our solar system when our solar system formed. But now we're into our teen years in solar system terms. They don't do much for us when we're deep inside the solar system now. But silly you didn't realize how tumultuous these comets could be, like Shoemaker-Levy 9, who kept getting closer to Jupiter. Back in '92, it flew extremely close to that planet within the orbit of Jupiter's innermost moon, Metis, flying so close that it could almost destroy the moon inside of the planet's Roche limit. Just give us a few years, is all us astronomy types could think, and the big destruction will come later, back in '94. People make guesses. What if an interstellar body was on a crash course with Earth? We'd have to try to move its orbit, because blowing it up in space would only lead to many tiny fragments hitting the Earth instead. And that is exactly what the astronomers would see with Jupiter's gravitational pull. As Shoemaker-Levy 9 got too close, Jupiter actually tore the comet into 21 pieces, raining down into many collisions with this gas giant. Some astronomers even wondered if these collisions would affect the Io torus, the torus of high-energy particles that connected Jupiter with Io. Of course, we're talking about the volcanic moon Io, and we're in love with learning about its moons. We can't help it. We love gas giants, but we can't help but love learning about moons. Can they function when where they are? How can they be so like Earth sometimes early in the solar system days? We've seen that even mass comet collisions didn't destroy the moons of Jupiter, but we'll keep watching Jupiter and the cosmic vacuum cleaner that it is of the solar system. But this near equivalent of a second sun manages to keep 3 times as many moons orbiting it as our sun does with planets. In mythology, Io was a princess who became one of Zeus's lovers, which is fitting when Jupiter is the counterpart to the mythical Greek Zeus, and Jupiter has many loyal moons. Ancient Greeks called Jupiter Phaetheus, or Shining One, or Blazing Star, because Jupiter's orbiting moons are as intricate as planets to us. Yay, I didn't know you'd get such a lesson on planets and moons of the solar system, but since we landed on the moon and it's so darn close and I have to show my moon, and I might as well show stuff that relating to all that planetary.
Jupiter's been protecting us from all these nasty asteroids and comets.
Yeah, and I think in the next few days, if John can confirm, there's supposed to be an alignment, and with the crescent moon, we would be able to see tomorrow, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, right along with the crescent of moon. So if you go out, I think it's like at 4:30 in the morning or something.
Wow.
Although he's been going out before dawn to try to check out the Neowise comet that we haven't been able to see at dawn anyway. But there's more astronomy info for you. And thank you all so very much for listening. And thank you.